often talk about something called sequence of return risk. I just want to walk through what that is real quickly. It is really about the order in which negative and positive returns happen. Now, if we don't take money out, it doesn't really matter when the positive years or the negative years happen. At the end of any given time, you'd have the same amount. You can see here through this chart, on the left-hand side, we have the positive years first, and we have more negative years later. On the right-hand side, negative years are first and positive years later. Now, if we don't take any money out, at the end of that 10-year period, you have the exact same amount of money. I know it's kind of crazy sometimes to think about, but that's just how math works. If we don't touch it, it doesn't matter. We have the same amount at the different period of time. However, once we start taking money out, that can affect it greatly. This is why we call this a retirement risk, because when you start taking money out of your retirement plans, you run into sequence of return risk. If we look at this next chart here, it shows us the same thing, except now we're going to start taking a withdrawal out. You can see here again, the left has the good years first, the bad years later, okay? And we're taking the money out every year, kind of continuing to grow on what's taken out. At the end of that 10 years, that given period of time, you still have this balance of 300,000 left. Now, and we started with 500 for this example. Now, on the other hand, if we have the bad years first, and then we still have the good years, we still had all the same good years, bad years in here, just in a different order, you see that you run out of money when the negative years come first. Now, this might seem like a heightened example, and actually these were returns in what we call the lost decade in the stock market. That was in the, from 2000 to 2010. Those were the actual returns, okay? So the sequence of return risk really matters when you're getting near retirement. If you retire and you had a lot of bad years right before your retirement, or especially right in your retirement, right after you retire and you start losing in those beginning years, it can create disastrous conditions where you can't recover. If you're taking 5% and the market's down 30%, now if you're not planning for that, you're down 35%. And how much more now do you have to gain to even get back to even? So sequence of return is a risk we definitely need to make sure you manage in retirement. Now, I can't control, and neither can you, when the negative returns happen in the stock market. What you can control is how it's going to affect your accounts. Okay, you can check out a couple videos to learn more about this. One is the colors of money. That is an option to protect some in green. And two, the retirement shift and the focus and the management style that needs to be brought into play in order to manage for this risk so that you don't run out of money or run out of income in retirement. If you have questions individually and you want to chat more, just give us a call.